thousands of GIA diamonds at insane prices. Buy factory direct and save. The Jewelry Exchange Bethesda.
Good morning, America. Breaking overnight, new fallout from the Team USA gymnastics scandal. Michigan State's president resigning after the former team doctor accused of assaulting young girls is sentenced to prison for up to 175 years.
You do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again. I just signed your death warrant.
Simone Biles calling the judge her hero. Where the investigation goes next. One of the brave young women who helped put the doctor behind bars is here live on GMA.
President Trump now says he's looking forward to answering the special counsel's questions under oath. But overnight, his legal team walks that back as President Trump arrives overseas for that World Economic Summit, pushing his America First agenda.
Caught on camera, violent carjacking, a Good Samaritan's deed backfiring. The person she saved taking her down, trying to steal her car, then targeting another. How this all ends.
And one-on-one with Elton John as he says goodbye to the road. The legend announcing one last tour.
I'm determined to go out with a bang.
The Rocket Man on that big decision, his family, and what he's calling a leap of faith.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Morning, America. We've been humming Elton John songs all morning long. And what a pleasure to sit down with him after he made his announcement that his upcoming tour will be his last. And we'll have much more on that coming up.
That will be a blockbuster. We also have a lot of news to get to this morning. President Trump just arrived in Switzerland moments ago. Overnight, he seemed to be at odds with his own attorneys on whether he should sit down for a face-to-face interview under oath with Robert Mueller.
But first, we want to get to that gymnastics abuse scandal. Take a look at the powerful headline in this morning's Detroit Free Press. Summing it up in one word: courageous. Then listing all women who came forward with their statements about former team doctor Larry Nassar.
Those are not victims, those are survivors, all those names. And overnight, the fallout growing. Michigan State's president resigned. Larry Nassar will spend the rest of his life behind bars, sentenced up to 175 years in prison for decades of sexual abuse. And Amy, this story is not over.
It is not over at all, guys. The judge sealing former Dr. Larry Nassar's fate after hearing statements from 156 of his alleged victims, publicly confronting him with their stories of abuse. But as many of them said, this is about much more than just Larry Nassar.
After 7 days of powerful testimony,
Larry meticulously groomed me for the purpose of exploiting me for his sexual gain.
I have experienced flashback nightmares of the abuse.
You seem to have a hard time looking at me now, but you didn't when I was half naked on your table.
disgraced former Dr. Larry Nassar apologizing, occasionally turning away from the microphone to address his accusers directly.
Your words have had a significant emotional effect on myself and has shaken me to my core. There are no words that can describe the depth and breadth of how sorry I am for what has occurred.
Judge Rosemarie Acalina slamming the 54-year-old with 40 to 175 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to 7 counts of felony criminal sexual conduct.
You do not deserve to walk outside of a prison ever again. I've just signed your death warrant.
The judge also reading from a letter Nassar wrote to the court just last week, arguing the victims were seeking money and media attention.
I was a good doctor because my treatments worked. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
Judge Acalina responding bluntly.
Anywhere you walk, destruction will occur to those most vulnerable.
Olympic champions Simone Biles and Aly Raisman, who both say they too were abused by Nassar, praising the judge. Biles writing on Instagram, to Judge Acalina, thank you, you are my hero. Raisman tweeting, thanks to the army of survivors and you, I am forever grateful that all of our voices are finally heard. Rachel Denhollander was the first woman to publicly accuse Nassar.
I was blessed to have other survivors come forward and be willing to take that risk with me.
The scandal far from over, Nassar's accusers demanding action against those who may have known about the abuse.
I feel that MSU was an enabler. MSU needs to be accountable for their actions.
Overnight, Michigan State President Lou Anna Simon under increasing pressure to resign, stepping down from her post. Meanwhile, 3 board members of USA Gymnastics have already resigned. That organization suspending longtime coach and close friend of Nassar, John Geddert, and also severing ties with the Caroli Ranch in Texas, run by legendary coaches Bella and Marta Caroli, where several victims say Nassar carried out some of his sexual acts.
I called my parents on the payphone crying every night, asking them if I could come home.
The Carolis, nowhere to be found. They're currently being sued in civil court, but have not been charged criminally.
To have the Carolis trust means everything in gymnastics. And Larry Nassar could go down to the ranch in Texas, and that's where Larry Nassar preyed on so many of his victims.
USA Gymnastics is also being sued in civil court. Michigan State University also in the crosshairs on Tuesday. The NCAA opening an investigation into the university's conduct surrounding this matter. George.
Okay, Amy, thanks very much for joining down by one of the champions you saw in that piece, former world champion gymnast Maddie Larson, her attorney John Manley. Maddie, thanks for joining us today. When you heard the judge yesterday say to Nassar, "I've just signed your death warrant," did you think justice had been served?
For him, yes, absolutely. He will never be able to have the chance or the opportunity to do what he did ever again. It just won't happen.
Your statement in court was so powerful. What was it like to confront him face to face?
It was like probably the most intense situation of my life, emotionally. I felt every type of way. I felt sick. I felt like I was gonna faint at first. I told John I wasn't gonna do it.
You weren't gonna do it?
No, I wasn't gonna testify. I didn't want to. I didn't want to put myself through it. I didn't think I was capable. And then literally on Sunday I decided, after going over it a lot and talking through it with my sister and a lot of tears and realizing that it's what I need to do. It's the least thing I could do after all that had happened to me. The least I could do was tell my story so it couldn't happen to other girls. And I decided to leave, and we left the next day.
How did it feel when you were telling it?
It felt like I was beginning to get my power back.
Well, it was an incredibly powerful statement. Try to help people understand how something like this could go on for so long. I know you even said that he had a kind of charm.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was like there were so many contributing factors that kind of made it like the perfect formula, perfect cocktail for someone like him to thrive. I'm still processing it, but it was a systemic problem, and he was just a piece of the puzzle. It was a combination of the wrong people being in charge and neglecting things that needed to be done legally and didn't do them. It was a combination of us being abused mentally, emotionally, and physically from our coaches, and him being the only one that seemed to offer a helping hand, to smile, to care. We were desperate for some love. At least I was. I was desperate.
And that takes us right to the Carolis. We saw you speak about your time on the ranch there in the piece as well. And at one point you even faked an injury?
Yes.
Or injured yourself?
Yes.
So you could be brought home?
Yes. It was at home. I actually did it at home. My flight was the next morning at at 6:30. I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning. It was 10 or 11 p.m. I was crying, panicking, didn't want to go. I was taking a bath. It wasn't even a hard decision in my mind. I just turned on survival mode, and I was about 15 or 16, and it happened so quickly. I said to myself, there's no way I am stepping foot there this week. I'm not.
So you bumped your own head?
So I bumped my own head. I tried to make it seem like I had slipped in our family's bathroom and fallen. I did not actually slip. I faked it. I splashed water on the floor. I sat down on the floor, and I banged my head as hard as I could to ensure that I got a bump and to ensure that my parents could hear the bang.
That sounds so desperate, so desperate. Why couldn't you say anything?
it wasn't an option for me. I didn't know I could, like, I didn't have a voice. I would get in trouble if I said I didn't sleep well at night to my coaches. I would get in trouble if I said I wasn't feeling well. The abuse had been going on for so long, and I was a shell of a child. I was empty.
It's so painful to hear that. John, I know you think a lot more action should be taken against the Carollis.
Well, I think that at the very least there needs to be a full-blown investigation. I mean, the ranch is, was put forth by USA Gymnastics as this amazing place where gold medalists were made. But in fact, if you believe the allegations of these women, which I do, it was a house of horrors where, this doctor at the ranch and in the evening, if you needed something, you called Larry. He was allowed to go into their room and molest them in their rooms. He molested these girls, these are the best America has to offer every day, sometimes twice a day. And literally no one was watching.
Maddie, it's so great to hear you say you're getting your power back. What do you want to happen next?
I want to find out how this could have possibly happened. I 110% should have never met the man. He shouldn't have been in my life. Something went wrong. There were allegations of him molesting girls in 1997. It's over 20 years ago. I was a toddler.
It's just crazy. Thank you for sharing your story this morning. Thank you both.
Thank you for having us.
Much more from Larry Nassar's victims. 20 survivors sharing their stories. More of the investigation on a special 2020 tomorrow night at 10 Eastern, right here on ABC. Robin?
All right, George. So proud of Maddie and all the young women and girls for their bravery. The latest now on President Trump arriving in Switzerland this morning for the World Economic Forum. But before he left the White House, he stirred up new headlines on the Russia investigation. Let's go to our chief White House correspondent, John Carl. And John, you had a chance to ask the president again about talking to Robert Mueller.
I did, and the circumstances here, Robin, were quite unusual. I was with a group of reporters in Chief of Staff John Kelly's office here in the West Wing of the White House. We were there for a background briefing on immigration when suddenly the door opened and it was the President of the United States. He stood there and took several questions on immigration. As he started to leave, I asked him about the special counsel investigation and if he would be willing to be interviewed by Robert Mueller. Here's what he said. Are you going to talk to Mueller?
I'm looking forward to it, actually.
Yeah.
Did you have a date set? Here's the story, just so you understand. There's been no collusion whatsoever. There's no obstruction whatsoever. But I would love to do that, and I'd like to do it as soon as possible.
As you hear there, he sounded downright eager to be interviewed by the special counsel, and he went on to say that he would absolutely do it under oath. This all happened, Robin, as the president's legal team is actually negotiating with the special counsel, resisting doing such an interview, trying to do written questions and answers instead. And here the president comes out and says he'd be absolutely willing to do it. So what are the president's lawyers saying about all this? Well, White House lawyer Ty Cobb actually said that the president said this hurriedly as he was leaving for Switzerland and that the details are still being worked out with the legal team. But I've got to tell you, Robin, I was there with the president. He did not seem to be in a hurry.
And how surprised were you by his response?
I was surprised, although back in June, he had told me that he would be 100% willing to be interviewed. So now I think it is case closed. He will do that interview.
Definitely on the record now. All right, thank you.
Hey, Robin, let's get more on the investigation from our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas. Pierre, on Capitol Hill, Republicans pressing their case against the FBI investigation. Their focus, text messages from two senior officials that they say demonstrate an anti-Trump bias.
George, good morning. That's right. Those controversial text messages from senior FBI officials have led to a barrage of criticism. And some Senate Republicans are all but accusing the FBI of engaging in a conspiracy against the president.
Republicans on the attack. At issue, highly critical, biased text messages between senior FBI officials Peter Strzok and Lisa Page. Strzok calling then-candidate Trump an idiot. Page saying that she couldn't believe he was a serious candidate for president.
I can't ignore these texts. I can't ignore this unvarnished narrative from two individuals very high up in the FBI.
Special Counsel Mueller removed Strzok from his team immediately after learning of the text. But according to GOP FBI critics, they found new text messages a, quote, secret society targeting the president. ABC News obtaining one of those messages overnight. Page writing to Strzok, "Are you even going to give out your calendars? Seems kind of depressing. Maybe it should just be the first meeting of the secret society." Sources tell ABC News the two had a personal relationship, so the message's reference to a secret society may have been in jest. Some sources speculating it was an insider joke.
All I'm saying is I've heard it's right in the text. You can see the text. They use that. Maybe we ought to have the first meeting of the secret society. It's not my words, it's theirs.
But Republicans are also suspicious of possibly tens of thousands of FBI text messages, including those between Strzok and Page that are missing during the period of December 2016 through May of last year. The president tweeting in one of the biggest stories in a long time, the FBI now says it's missing 5 months worth of Strzok Page texts, perhaps 50,000, all in time. Wow.
But the FBI says the text disappeared because of a technical glitch. And sources tell us that the glitch affected thousands of phones within the FBI, not just those of Strzok and Page. Democrats believe this is all a Republican witch hunt to distract from the Mueller investigation. George?
And we have months to go. Kate Pierre, thanks very much. Michael?
All right, thank you, George. And now to a troubling new study linking the flu with an increased risk of heart attack. Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here. And Jen, this study shows that six times greater chance of having a heart attack soon after you contract the virus.
Exactly, Michael. This appeared in the New England Journal of Medicine, a very reputable journal. Small study done out of Canada that reinforces what we've known for quite a while now, but in a slightly different way, that in the week after someone has had the flu, there is 6 times greater risk of having a heart attack. So two things very much on the forefront of people's minds, flu and heart attack. Theories as to why that happens, it actually makes sense in terms of the physiology. There is inflammation when we have an upper respiratory viral infection. That triggers an increased clotting risk. And then there's oxygen demand and supply mismatch that can affect the heart. So it does make sense.
And who is at risk of this?
Well, that's
everybody?
No, that's the really important thing for people hearing this to understand. The most of these heart attacks occurred in people over the age of 65 with risk factors for heart disease or heart attack, so high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Interestingly, this study found that people with type B influenza were more affected than type A, which is interesting because that tends to give a less severe course. And the people who were vaccinated had a slightly lower risk, so that's some good news.
Vaccinations, important. Amy, you just got yours.
I did.
It's not too late, everybody, to go get yours as well, Doc. Thank you so much. And now we're going to go to Ginger with more on the ice and cold in the Northeast. Ginger, please tell us it's changed.
It is, and that's actually part of the problem is that we go with the surge in temperatures and then the freeze. And a place like Pittston, Pennsylvania has folks on mandatory and voluntary evacuation thanks to the ice jam situation there. And we've been showing you a couple of pictures from Connecticut recently. We got new ones there from the Connecticut Civil Air Patrol, and you can see how the ice is still stacked up. Guys, we're going to go from this serious chill with this morning feels like 18 in Philadelphia. Warm again by the weekend. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, the comfortable cities brought to you by Walgreens.
Looking to save even more money on your Medicare Part D prescriptions? At Walgreens, we'll help you save more with $0 copays on select plans and reward points on prescriptions. So no matter where you're going or who you are, it's worth the trip. We'll help you find low-cost prescriptions, including $0 copays on select Medicare Part D plans. Walgreens, trusted since 1901.
For today, partly sunny skies and temperatures right around average for this time of year. As we get ready for the upcoming weekend, a nice warming trend coming up. Low 50s tomorrow with some sunshine, upper 50s on Saturday. Get out and enjoy, because by the time we head into Sunday, we're tracking some showers throughout the afternoon. And notice those daytime highs still in the mid 50s, but this will bring some relief to our drought conditions.
Coming up, those California parents who held their children captive appearing in court, what we're now learning about the children's futures.
And a miracle recovery. A woman shot in the head during the Las Vegas massacre now set to walk out of the hospital today. How she made that incredible turnaround.
Before people invite something new into their homes, they want to know